Hi, my name is Robert, and I'm one of the lead developers and architects behind the EventMotor platform. Now, EventMotor is something we started back in 2006, and it has been in development for approximately 2 years. It started out quite small, and it grew bigger and bigger, and today I'm going to give you a walkthrough and show you the functionality which is behind it. EventMotor is a tool for event planning, being it private events or commercial events. Now we look at the start page. This is what you see when you visit it for the first time, or if you're not logged in. And you see a quick overview, some nice eye catcher. And we actually have a tour here. You see some examples for private events like birthdays, parties, weddings, reunions, and also you have professional events. You can do networking, information, seminars, a whole lot of things which you can imagine where you need an event planning software because they become more and more complex, and the hassle of telephoning or sending emails is just getting very hard to cope with. We have all kinds of tours included here, but I would think the quickest way to start with the functionality is you simply plan. And instead of looking at pictures, you do the live thing. And so what we can do is we either log in. So I will play this thing through with a new user right now. So you need to sign up first. And setting up is quite easy. We have this minimal form here, selecting a user type. So we just choose a username as a password, just something quick to remember it. We just accept this, sign up, and what we ask for now is an activation code. It states we have an email sent to us with an activation link. So we see there's either a link or a code which we can enter. Okay, we see we have a new email now, and it states it has been a new account created. Please confirm. But instead of clicking on this link, I will copy the code just for the sake of not opening a new browser window. And here we're back at the activation page. I'll enter the code here, press OK, and then you'll be right in the web page. This is the main dashboard, which we see in EventMotor when we log in for the first time and also for the consecutive times. Our main menu is still on the top, which has the most system administrative functions, and the new event because it's the most prominent function here. So we want to have this at our fingertips all the time. Then we have a menu bar, which consists of the main functionalities and areas where we can go to in EventMotor. We have some news area. We will see later on what this is good for. We have some reminders. Right now we only have reminders for holidays or famous or public days. Then at the bottom we have a section, what are my friends doing? So there seems to be some sort of networking, social eventing in here, and that's exactly what it is. You also have this RSS feed over here. This is very helpful if you don't want to visit the page all the time. You just link that to your browser, to your RSS feed reader, and then when you see the updates, you just go there and do whatever is required. Now, let's actually start planning a event, and we have this big event button over here. We could also start creating an event for those special days here by clicking button here. But let's go the usual way, and this is by clicking the big button. We will get our event entry page, starting out with a type. So what type of event do we want to create? A private one. We have a wide array of things we can do here. We have parties, we have food and drink, we have professional events, you have education, you can have seminars. What we will plan today is a class reunion. 10 years have passed and it is time. So as you can see, we have this rich text editor here. Let's do something with the fonts here. Let's see, it's time here, your orga team, insert a little smiley here. Perfect. So everybody who organized class reunion already knows what a hassle it can be. Lots of communication going on, lots of voting for different things, and we'll see how this software here can help us. Now the next thing we can do is we can select a who brings what list. You will see in a second what that is. It is very helpful to organize what people bring, and so we don't have duplicate things in the end, and we have some kind of transparency here. When we think of birthdays or weddings, we also need a wish list, which is basically the same as a who brings what list, but with a different touch to it. We don't need a wish list here, so I will skip this functionality in this demonstration. Next thing is date and time. When are you going to meet? We could pick a fixed date, so we have this nice calendar. We could say, yeah, we meet sometime in, I don't know, July. But since we don't have a date already, let's make a poll and ask the participants when it's best suitable for them. For the location, okay, let's just state something, and in the bottom we have some administrative functionality. We can enter phone contacts and email contact. We can actually limit the number of participants, so we can just enter any number, but we don't want to do this. We want everybody to come. We can limit the number of companions people can bring. Then something interesting is if you can select maybe as an acceptance state. We can choose if you want to have a discussion area that people can exchange messages. That's nice. If you want to have reviews are more for professional events actually, when you have a stage performance or something, but it's also nice to write down some memories after the event happened and to get some impressions, how people felt about it. So we leave that on. Show the attendees list so guests can see who is actually coming, and in addition also you can show the invitation list, so this is who actually was invited but did not reply yet. You also want that people to see. Then guests may forward this event to other people. Yes, that's a good thing. Guests may add poll options, meaning we have a date poll right now, and we will enter some proposals, and if you want that the guests can also enter proposals, we can activate this, but I will leave this out for now. Let's just do an easy thing and not allow the guests to hassle with the event too much. We click on save, and this will create our event. The main event page consists of several areas. At the top we have our summary, this is our name, this is the organizer, this is myself. Then a time not set yet. Of course, we are at the poll. Location, we see there are no attendees yet. There's a picture automatically selected from a wide array of pictures which we prepared for each category. And then we have a description here which we just entered, and we also have the address, and we even have a map already which we can instantly see. Okay, this is Theaterplatz, nice, hide the map. At the bottom we see the discussion area, there you can write comments. You also have RSS feeds for that, so you can subscribe to the comments. And what is quite nice about this is you have comments which are visible for all, and then you have comments which are visible for organizers only, because I'm now logged in as an organizer, so I can see this tab. And I could chat with other organizers in case I add some more, that we can actually plan without our guests seeing that. We don't have to leave the platform or use email suddenly. Now there is this yellow area at the top. Yellow bars usually mean pay attention to something. There's some action required, and we see here, yes, we have a date poll, but we don't have any options set yet. So please go to the date poll overview and fix this. We will do this later on in a second. At the right side we have our actions. We can invite guests to the event. We can edit our who brings what list, and here's a little commercial for a little game we created. It's a mahjong game. If you like playing this, go ahead. It's JavaScript, it's great, and I can only recommend it. So what I'm first going to do is setting my attendance state. I just click here, and I have the options of yes, no, maybe, of course I come, no matter what the date is. I bring my girlfriend, and I am excited. You can also select if you want to have an email reminder for the event, some hours or days before the event, so you don't forget it. And you can also select the visibility if other people can see that you're going to the event. You can say to show it nobody. You can have this appear as you are busy at this time, or you can even show the event with the name. And since this is fully okay, this is not a secret event, let's show this including the event name. Save this. So now we already have 2 attendees. This is all refreshed instantly with Ajax and JavaScript in the background. Also at the bottom you see a counter, so you have an instant impression how many people did view my page already. And of course this counter is session aware, so it only increases the counter once per session or once per view that you're on the page, so you don't have 10 views after reloading the page 10 times. And you can of course bookmark it and send it to social platforms and Facebook it and all this stuff, and here you can delete it. So what we want to do now is go to the poll overview and fix our dates. So what we have here is we can select a date proposal. We can actually do vote for time as well if you want that, but since we just need a day, let's keep it simple. Let's not vote for time. Let's just select the date. So we have our first proposal. Let's make a second one. What is always good for the unions is the 23rd of December, so let's add this one. We have 2 proposals right now. Here's a comment from myself. So save settings. I can appear at both dates, so this is the summary. One person is available on this date and one person available on this date. And then we have some actions. We can close the poll accepting this date, or we can delete this item. And what is also very nice, we have now this matrix view. And if you want to have a little more detail about the voting options, you can go to the detail view and you have this whole thing inverted. So you see the options now vertically and the choices horizontally, but you have, instead of only yes and no, you have a more fine granular scale of 5 entries. You can see details here of all the votes, and you have the same options. You can accept, you can delete. We will leave that as it is and actually start the poll. Since we didn't invite anybody, nobody will receive any message, but that's perfectly fine. We can actually go back now. Navigation is very easy because we have this breadcrumb navigation here. Right now we're at the poll. So let's go back to the event, and as we can see now, the time doesn't state not set yet anymore, but it says go to poll, and we see the attendance state. We see a minimum people who will come are 1, and maximum is 1 because I just voted, and it will count the minimum and maximum number of votes for each date. What we can do now is actually fine-tune our event a little, and we have the menu bar on top here, and what we will start with is the edit section. When we go there, we have the same menu again like we had when we created this thing. We will have warnings on the right if there are events which will take place at the same date. There's only one change to this whole thing, and this is you have a new button here which says create a follow-up event, and the follow-up event is something which will be connected to this event, and it's just a separate event which has a connection. You will see this later on in an example. So this is our basic data. You can actually go to layout now. Layout will show you preset of pictures which we selected, depending also on the different themes. There's a party theme, then we have tourism, we have some beaches, but actually it's stay at the personal theme, and we want to have the classroom. Let's see, here's the classroom. That looks like an old classroom, it's really nice. So let's use this picture, and of course we could also upload our own picture and use this one. And what you also have is some kind of design template. You can actually change the look and feel of this whole page. This is an experimental feature right now, but let me show this real quick. Go to Edit, Layout, and Templates, and it will show you the template. You see the preview down here of the page. But now we have the EventMotor template. Let's create a new one. Okay. And if you choose my template now, we will see we have an edit button. We don't have the edit button for the default, but we have it for our own, and we actually have control over a lot of things in the web page, and we can change background pictures, colors. As you see, some texts are not fully translated to English yet. Simple reason is this is an experimental feature. It has never been set live. So when we go back and go to edit, to layout, have I just been. The next thing is organizers. I will skip this for now. The last thing is polls. So we have seen the date poll already. We are using it, and we could also create a location poll per default when we create a new event. What we can also do is we can create any arbitrary number of other polls. Let's say we want to decide if we want to order catering or bring the food ourselves. And then what we have is you can always go to this detail view where we have the 5 options, or we just start with the matrix view. And then you can select if you want to have only one selection or if you want to allow several selections. And if the poll is still active or if it's already closed and people cannot change it anymore, but they can still view it. So let's just start with the default settings. We can go to the poll now, view it. We don't have any proposals yet. It's very simple. We say yes and we say no. That's all the proposals we need. So this is the view our guests would see. Should we order the food or bring it ourselves? And actually this is a little misleading now. We see we can select yes and no. In this case it would make more sense to actually force people to vote for something. So we adjust this real quick. We go to the polls again, click on edit and say allow only one selection. Yes, there we are. Let's see the poll again. And let me see, now we have radio buttons here. We can select only one option. Order catering, no, I think everybody brings something. That's always very nice and easy and makes a much better atmosphere. What has changed in our event page, we now have this picture we selected. We have this poll here, and we have an additional section here. There's another poll which people can choose from. Now in order to do something with the event, we need to actually invite people, and we do this with the publish section. When we go there, we can first of all select the visibility of our event. There are 4 choices. First one is this event is only visible to me, so then actually no one except the user which is logged in can view the event. Then people from our invitation list can view the event. Everybody can view the event who knows the link, so that every event has a link. It consists of a code. We see it here. This is 3Z7W4R4, so it's quite hard to guess. But if you know it, you can access the event. And you can also select to have a fully public event, mostly used for commercial events. When you want to have a concert or something, you actually want to spread this, and then EventMotor will also create a sitemap XML file and publish it to Google every night. So what we want to do is everybody can view the event who knows the link. So this gives us the opportunity to send around the link by email. Okay, and if you're unsure what to choose here in this menu, you can actually go to the introduction section and read through what options have what advantages. You have this public event directory, the invitation list. You can send this link around. If you want to send customized emails or just publish the link on your web page or something. Once you decided for a privacy setting, usually this is the most practical one for private events, you can save and continue, and you get to the invitation list section. And the invitation list is very easy. You invite by email, and let's say we invite a friend. It's Billy Bob. Now we also have a language section here. What's this for? The system is capable of sending invitations in different languages depending on where people are from. In order to help the system to know what language to send, you can actually set the initial language for user. They can change it later on, of course, but English is good. Let's add this, and he will appear in our invitation list. Now we could also use the search functionality to search for user who has a public profile in EventMotor or search by email. We don't want to do this now, so let's just invite this one guy and see what happens now when we create the invitation text. So when we go to the next pane, we will have a quick editor here. We can select from a template. So what we see right now is the normal informal template, and what we have here also is a formal template. You have these placeholders in here. That's basically it. Now there is again this yellow warning here. So what does it say? We strongly recommend entering your first and last name. Otherwise, this email could be classified as spam. So this is, from our experience, quite important. When you send an email, we did a lot of optimization for spam, and we did a huge amount of time which we invested in figuring out which combinations of mail content and sender and receiver settings have the lowest spam score. And this is actually a science, but we came up with a pretty good solution, and it nearly never ends up as spam. So in order to prevent this, let's actually enter our first and last name, and for this make an excursion to the My Data section, which is on the top, which is one of the system functionalities. So what we see here is our public profile. Other users would not see the email address. We have user information right now, and we could see what events we are organizing. We have only one event, class of 2000 reunion. We could switch this whole thing to map mode. We see, okay, there's one event organized in Dresden. Nice. And in order to start improving our profile a little, we go to the edit data section, and again, let's enter some quick information. Let's say we are Tomato, no company. Now our time zone is pre-selected, and you probably might ask, where does this information come from, or why is it pre-selected? And what is actually happening is EventMotor is trying to automatically detect the time zone for you, and in 95% of the cases this works, and your time zone is set and you don't have to worry about it. Now let's keep our password, so we just have that empty. Click on save, and now we have data save section. Details, what can you enter? We have a mobile phone support, so there's a separate page for that. Landline numbers is just information. Birthday is quite an interesting thing, because then your friends get a reminder. Let's say birthday is 2 days, and you can also enter an address. So the address is quite interesting if you want to have driving directions to an event. We do this. Let's enter an address in Berlin. Save. Now let's take a quick excursion to this mobile section, so we can actually have a mobile phone registered. This is good if you want to have SMS messaging capabilities, and also your friends can send you SMS messages directly. So let's just register a number here, and then we see there's a code being sent to the phone. Okay, so let's see, we should receive the code any second. These are of course time-locked codes. That means after a few hours they are invalid and you have to repeat the whole process again. The number is activated now, and then you see we have registered our number. If you want to change it, we can do it, and we can start the whole process again. So having done this, let's go back to the edit data section. We can actually upload a picture from us. See if you have a nice picture around. Say I want to be an agent. Agent sounds good. Save. OpenIDs. We have OpenID support in EventMotor. You can register as many OpenIDs as you want to if you have different accounts. You can also use the OpenID for initial login. It will automatically create the account for you and link it. And then you have some import functionality. This is an experimental function as well. It will import an iCal file, which needs to be provided from a linked location, from an URL, and it will just import all the events in the iCal file into your current profile. Now, the next section we have here is privacy settings. So what you can first do is you set your data visibility. You might select that everybody may see your data. That means you have a public profile, but you can also reach via a URL. This is practical if you are like a singer or an artist, then you want to have a public profile, or you can select that all the contacts from my address book may see my details, or you can say that only confirmed contacts may see my details. And let's say, okay, we want to be a little more private. Options for the search. Do you want to be found for the search? Of course. I want to be found only if somebody searches for my mail. This can be a good option if you want to have more privacy and you want to make sure that only friends add you, and then you have some sign up for a newsletter if you want to receive that. And Also, if you want to get notification mails for certain things which can happen, and you have all these options which you can fine-tune here. Let's just save it here. Then the next function we have is the financial settings. We already signed up for SMS mobile messaging. This needs to be paid for somehow. You can use PayPal to do this. We have a fully automated PayPal paying process here. A transaction overview, it will list incoming or outgoing transactions, and you have a full account of everything which happened with your money. You actually can get your money back, so you can have outgoing payments. Right now we don't have any money, but we could say we want to have the money sent to us on our bank account. We don't have any bank account so far. We wanted to have it sent to our PayPal email. But let's take a look at the bank account section, and this will become handy later on. So let's create a bank account real quick, since we're already here. That's all we need to enter. And let's see, okay, click on save. And then we have our bank account here. So I think we are up and running. Let's go back to the overview of my data, and this is our new profile. It's grown. As you can see, the new information has been added. We have our address here. We can see it on the map. So we live right in Berlin right now. We have our mobile section. We have our birth date. And of course we have our picture. If we actually don't want to be part of this network anymore and we want to lose all our data, we can actually go to delete account. Of course there is a question if we actually want to do this. Now, having entered our name and all our data, we can actually go back to our event, and as we can see, we have a new section here on our summary page which is recently viewed events, and this makes it very easy to see events again which we have visited or just created. And now we go to our event and we actually go to the invite guest section. To the send messages, we see the yellow warning has disappeared. Maybe to show the multi-language invitation feature, let's create one more invitation, another language. Let's say her name is Paris, so she speaks Hungarian. Okay. If we go to send message now, we see there are some new options actually appearing here on the screen. First of all, we have a status bar below the text, and we see recipients per language. So we see one in English, and we see there's one in Hungarian, and this is Emma. And all recipients will receive it in English right now. Why is that? Because we didn't activate multilingual invitations yet. So if we activate the multilingual invitations, we actually see all the languages which we want to support here. We have English and then we have Hungarian. So let's just stick to the default, deactivate multilingual invitations. Now what is always a good thing is to send a test message first, so it ends up in your own account and you see if the invitation has actually the format and the links which you want. Your email is pre-filled here, just press yes and you're set. Messages being sent. Okay, we can actually send the real invitations, send messages. 2 invitations have been sent, and that's basically it. Now our guests will have received an email, and if you look at the attendees list right now, we see we have 3 people invited. What I can actually do is if people call me on the phone and tell me, yeah, I will come, I can actually set the state for them. So I can say, yes, he will come with 5 people, or I can also remove comments. If I also want to, I can reset the whole status. So now to switch to the view which our guests have, we log out and we check our email. So as you can see, we have a new email. So what I can actually do is I can click on the link, and what we see now is the guest invitation view. Our main logo disappeared, our footer is somehow different. It leaves much more space for the invitation itself. What we have seen from the email is this email contains an access key. The access key is unique for each user. It stores all the actions already, so he is able to perform interaction with this page. So he can already participate in the polls, he can write some comments, he can view the Who Brings What list, view the attendee list. we are now Billy Bob, and Billy Bob thinks, oh cool, this is a great thing. I want to actually help organizing this event. So we actually have written a comment here, and then we realize, oh okay, maybe I should have contacted the organizer a little more directly. And we figure, okay, maybe we need an account. So the sign-up process for people who have been invited is very easy. This is a special sign-up process. You either have a login, we don't have one, so I want to sign up for free, and you have this on the same page included already username suggested, Billy Bob, sounds good. I just enter a password. You see, you don't need to enter the email address here. This is not shown anymore because we already validated our email, so we don't also have the validation step. Sign up, and there you are. You're logged in as Billy Bob, and you're ready to go and use all the functionality you want. Now let's go back to the main page, and there's also a new section which appeared. And so on top of this new summary, which we saw before, which was empty before, and now it shows you have been invited by Tom Tomato, there's this open tasks section. And you can see in these texts there are always highlighted things, so these action items are also content dependent. But we have open tasks, so what we need to do is we need to vote for a date, and we need to vote for order catering. This is our custom poll. Let's do this. Let's decide for December, and let's go back to the event. Take part in the other poll as well. Order catering, no, of course we want to bring our own stuff. That's much better. What we actually want to do now is to contact this Tom Tomato, so we click on Tom Tomato. This is public profile, there's really no information, there's only his picture and the city where he lives in. And I want to add him to my address book actually and see all his details. Little jump in time, he confirmed, and I can see his details now. I can see his phone number, could send him an SMS. I don't have any balance on my account, so this doesn't work. But what I can do is can use the internal messaging system of the EventMotor platform, and just an email system which is on the platform. So you can we just send this to him, and then go back to our summary page. What we actually see now is this one additional change. It's a tiny one. We actually have a new reminder. So we just added Tom Tomato as our contact in the address book. We confirmed, and now we see his birthday automatically in our calendars. So while we are waiting that he will confirm that we can co-organize the event, let's take a look at the other functionalities which we actually have here. So we already started out with creating the event. Now let's take a look at the main menu. We have this group functionality here. When we go to groups, we can actually have several people from our address book, put them all in a group, and then make it much easier this way to invite people and to send out invitations later on. And we can also put groups in groups, so there's a nesting functionality, quite a powerful feature. We can have public groups which we can find and search for. But let's create a new group, and let's say this is the union organizers. Okay. So this is now the group view. The responsible is Billy Bob. It's only private, so let's see what we can do with this group. Let's edit. We can enter a group description again. Then we can set some visibility, only for me or for all group members or group members in search. And then who may join. I want to have some control who will be in this group. So group members will have to be confirmed first. Save. Now we can have additional organizers who will be responsible for administering this group. We can also have a picture here associated with the group. We don't want to do this now. But what we want to do is we want to add Tom to the people who are in this organizer group, and then we can have events connected to this group. There are no events connected so far, but I will show you later how to connect events to the group. And of course we can also have a location map. Location map is quite useful if we want to see where people live. I didn't enter an event a location for myself yet, but I can see Tom lives in Berlin, and all the others would be spread out with markers on depending where they live. So the next thing we can have is messages. We didn't receive anything yet, but if we want to, we can send something, and it's quite easy. We can just select a user or enter a username, send something to Tom, write a text, and that's it. You can also send SMS if you want to. If we register our phone number, the SMS will actually be sent from our phone number. So we'll insert that, and we can select we want to send an SMS to Tom, type something. Let's not do this now. And then in the end, we can also see what messages we sent already. The last option we have in the main menu is the address book. The address book will list all our contacts, and right now there's only Tom Tomato. We see at the unlocked icon that he shared all his data with us. If we wanted, we could actually edit some of the data and override it with our own settings. We could also find people who are registered on EventMotor.com, and of course we can add new entries. So we can add a single entry here for a new person we want to invite maybe later on. We can import contacts. So we have a Pluxo plugin. The Pluxo can import from your Outlook, from Gmail, from Yahoo, and also from files. We support this interface, and you can just import your Pluxo contacts, or you can just copy paste your email list. This is a very powerful function because we have quite a lot of logic in there. It will parse nearly any email address you give them. It will parse out the names already and will pre-fill the contacts. You can have any separators, any. Let's go back. Let's go again to our event which we want to organize and discover a new functionality which we didn't dive into yet, and this is the Who Brings What list. So if you go to this list, we see there are no items yet registered, but let's say we want to start tracking some of the items. Of course we need food if we bring our own food, so let's start with maybe a potato salad. You can select if you want to organize this and what priority this has. Let's just leave it at default. So we have a potato salad, we need orange juice, so it's nice, we need to enter some description. And okay, what happens if you say I will organize this? You will see the color will change, so you have the legend right down here. Things which you organize are green. So if you open this, you see we have this buyer icon. It's Billy Bob, and it's me. You can also enter some details here. How much does it cost, and when did you finish that? You don't want to organize that actually, but you would of course participate in sharing the money. So you have this participation function, and you can just select it's my participation. I want to share equally with all the people who participate, or you can enter maximum value. So if we say without limit, okay, and then we see this turned yellowish color, and just for the sake of showing the other functionalities, we can also invite someone else to participate or enter the participation of someone else. The advantage is you will get some calculations later on if you enter how much you spent and how much you estimate things will cost. You will have a budget in the end, and you can easily spread this out and share later on with other people. So of course you can also add some details for the items. You can supply a link, and this will make the title clickable, and you will have a link there. You can enter quantity, you can say how much you finished already, and you can supply a picture again and make this a little more appealing. We don't want to do this now. One more interesting thing is you can have some comments here, and you can have discussions inside of these list items. So let's go back to the summary page. That's enough from Billy Bob and his view on the event. Let's go back to Tom Tomato, so let's log out as Billy Bob, which will bring us back to the main page. And from the main page we can log in again as TomTomato. Two small things before we continue. You can log in via OpenID. This will simply show you the OpenID box. And the other thing is, if you have forgotten your credentials, we have of course also the process of you either know your email address and you get your password forgotten link sent to your email, or you still have your username, then you also get the link to your email. So it's very easy to retrieve your account. Let's log in as TomTomato again, and TomTomato has a lot of updates right now. Let me assist you in planning. Oh, that's a good idea. Billy Bob? Okay. Let's visit our event. Let's make Billy Bob an organizer. So we go to Edit Data, Organizers, and enter Billy Bob here. And let me see, he is a user with all rights for this event. And we can also, if we want to, make him the main coordinator of this. So this means he can also actually delete the event. And I can pull myself out of the whole planning. So if you go back to the overview page, we now see organizers are Billy Bob and TomTomato, so two people, and he will have all the rights for this. We also see that there are two items on the Who Brings What list already. Billy Bob organizes orange juice, there's a comment, okay. And we also see the comments of the description. Since we entered our address in some steps before, we can now also get directions to this event. So it will guide us from our home address, which is Alexanderplatz, to Dresden, show us how to drive there. Go back to the event. Now the other tiny thing which we added is we are in a group now. So I promised to show you how to link groups to an event, and this is simply done in the Publish section, where you have the Rights tab, and you have below the 4 visibility options, you have an additional tab which is linked to groups, and we can link this to the Reunion Orgas. Save and continue, and I will show you later on what it can be used for. Now let's jump ahead in time a little and pretend we have had our polls and everything is finished. So we actually decided for a date, it's 23rd of December. Okay, so we push the green button, say yes, set as final date, and that's it. Then the system will send out notification mails to the users and enter this date as the official event date and show it it's in 8 months. Of course, you can also export this to Outlook right now. So the next thing is we will also close the catering poll. Yes, we will close it, and just for the sake of it, if we go there again, we will see that we cannot set any options anymore. And now in order to play through some of the more advanced functionalities which are yet to come, let's pretend we have a guided tour just before our picnic and we want to have a ticket sale for that. So this guided tour will cost something, and so this is a good opportunity to actually go to the entrance fee and ticket functionality, which is a professional functionality. So if we go there, we see we have different options of setting a ticket type. Either the entrance is free, then the event will look as it is looking now. Then we can have a fixed price. We can just enter any arbitrary price, 10 to 12 euro for example. This is just a free text. So if you save that, there's no big magic happening. It will just state here in a new info pane that tickets cost 10 to 12 euros. I could use an external ticket link if I have some provider. Maybe something like My Tickets. I just made it up, of course. If you go to the overview pane now, we see there's a buy ticket link, and it will just jump to the page we just entered. The really nice functionality in EventMotor is now with the EventMotor ticketing, which is a huge module which you as a normal user don't see, but you can just activate it, and it has tremendous functionality. It will start out with a sort of preferences screen. We have different payment types. We have debit cards, and then you can select if you want to handle this payment type yourself or if you want EventMotor team to handle it, which has impact on the fees. Since we discontinued the platform, we made the whole platform free. We didn't take any fees anymore. but you also have to do everything yourself now. So there's no more option that we handle this for you. So this is grayed out, and you have the admin interface for yourself. So you can have debit, you can have money order. This means people can send you the money to your account, and since we already have created an account, we can do this. You can accept PayPal or credit card. Credit card is routed through PayPal, so they have much better conditions than if you would have implemented our own credit card provider service. Let's not accept this one. But let's say we have an office and we accept the on location. Then you can have taxes. For private users, there is no tax because it's not actually a reseller. But if you're a business user, you can actually enter the tax which is applicable for your country, and it will appear on the invoice later on. But we are private, so we'll just confirm this. And we see on the right side our billing address is automatically be taken from our profile. This is fine, otherwise I could change it already. Let's just save that, and we will see that the yellow bar disappeared. So this means our shop is actually ready to be used. We have the correct basic functionality set up. That was all we needed to do. And what we can do now is define ticket categories. Let's create a ticket category. Let's say Semper Opera. We know now the price is 12 euros. And let's say there are 50 places available. We called ahead and they told us 50 places. Active, this means people can still buy that. And click OK. And there we go. Nothing has been sold yet. We don't have any fees. If you would have fees, we actually have a table here where we can go and take a look at it. We support percentual fees per ticket, and we have minimum and maximum caps on that. So the fee system is fully working, but we set all the fees to 0 so people can just use the platform for free. We created our tickets here, and in order to preview how this ticket actually looks like, we have this little preview icon here. Let's click on it, and it will create a PDF document of the ticket. We have a nice printout ticket. We have a barcode automatically generated on the price with the date and some advertisement here for us. And you can just print this out and bring it to the location. Now going back to the main page of the event, we now see we have a little shop, ticket shop here in the event. We see we have a Semper Opera ticket. Let's say I want to order 2 tickets. It's automatically counting. You can say buy tickets, and there I am. The ticketing process is very easy for the end user. It will fill out all the data automatically. I accept the terms for the buyer, yes, continue. I select how do I want to pay. I can either have a debit, so provide my bank account, and then the organizer has to withdraw the money. I can send the money to the organizer, or I can pay on location. Let's say I send the money to the organizer. I want to have an online ticket to print. Okay, continue. This is a summary of my purchase. I will see I have a money order. I will pay 24 euros, 2 tickets. Sounds good. Conclude purchase, and this will bring me to the confirmation page. And here I actually see now where I have to transfer the funds to, and I have my little subject here. I have to enter this number and then send it to the account. And if I actually go to the order and ticket overview now, I see this is my ticket order waiting for payment. I already have an invoice, all automatically generated. We have a PDF generator in the background. And we could also click on retrieve tickets, but we will get this message, tickets will be available as soon as the order has been paid. On the summary page, we of course see 2 tickets need to be paid. So this is the order we just made. And now let's pretend we just transferred the funds. I will now, as an organizer of the event, go to my ticketing overview. The ticketing overview just appeared. It did not be here first because we didn't have anything to do with tickets or something, so it wouldn't have made any sense. So when I go to the ticket overview now, I see I have one event which didn't sell any tickets yet, but I have a ticket clearing action where I can actually see everything which has happened so far here, and I see there's a pending order, and I can click on it. I see Tom Tomato has ordered 2 tickets. Now I check my account and I see, oh okay, he has paid, and if he has paid, I click on the mark as paid icon. Yes, I see now I have sold 2 tickets. So when I go back to the full overview again, now I see there are only 48 tickets available and 2 are sold already. I can also send around links to this shop, to my tickets, and this is very easy. We can use the same publish functionality we saw before, and in addition to the things we saw in the beginning, we also have a shop page only view now, which is a widget which we provide. This widget can be launched with a direct link. It has the disadvantage it will appear in a new tab if you have deactivated it. So we also have a pop-up solution which has a server provided JavaScript, and this will open a ticket shop in a new small window, and you can just actually copy paste this link to your web page and you have a shop. People don't need to be logged in. The whole shop system can work with users which are not logged in. It will sign them up automatically in the process. Now let's go back to our event, and as you can see, we have our order here of 2 tickets. When we go to our ticket basket, we see it is paid, since we just marked the item as paid. And now the interesting thing is we can retrieve the tickets. You see we have 2 tickets with different numbers. We can print them, and we see this is our ticket for Tom Tomato. It has our custom barcode here. Let's jump ahead in time again and say we are at the day of the event. We are on the 23rd of December. People arrive and we have a lot of people coming with tickets. We need some sort of admission help here. Of course, this has also been built into the system. So when we go to the ticket tab here, we have also the admission feature. So when we go to admission, we have an easy way to print the whole attendee list. If you look at it, we have a PDF with the barcodes and all the people who will come. And we also have a more sophisticated solution. We have a laptop or something with us. We can use a barcode scanner to actually simply scan the tickets. Let's say we jump ahead in time a little more, and then when the event is over, we want to have some after event coverage, and this is when our picture gallery actually comes into place. We can jump to the pictures tab and share some memories. It's very easy to upload pictures. We have this multi-file picture upload utility here. Let's say we just select some of the pictures we have made, some of the good memories, upload them. That's all we need to do. The system will take care of all the conversion, all the hosting here. Of course, these are not memories, these are just sample pictures. Interesting is we have a download all as a zip functionality. Very easy to use. You can download all the pictures at once, and of course you can also have a detailed look, like a slideshow through all the pictures. What is also very neat is you can have a link to a YouTube video. If you have a nice video, paste a YouTube link in here, press OK, and now we also have an embedded version of the event memories. If you go back to the main summary page, we can see it has changed now. Let me see latest pictures. Also, if you want to have besides the pictures also some text, we can use the review functionality. Go to reviews, write in your review. Say we have the rating. Let's say it was really good. We can supply a link, then we will jump to this source if we want to. Let's just stick with the defaults, press OK. Then we have this really nice call out. So now when this event is over, let's go back to our summary page. There's one thing we didn't look at so far, and this is the event tab up here, and we see that we have a nice event calendar where we can list all of our events. We can browse through the months, and if we jump to December, we will see that we have our own event listed here, class of reunion picnic. And now we see what these event groups can become handy. If you have a lot of events planned, you can activate and deactivate the visibility of these events with one click. You can also have a list view of the whole thing. You can see who else is planning events or where I'm invited to. And of course you have a global event search pre-filled with the city where you are. Let's see, I just want to search everything, search, and then you have some public events. You see some concerts which are going on. You just click on one of them. Let's select Appassionata. There's one nice functionality. These are follow-up events, which I just quickly showed you in the other edit section. And we have an additional ticket view, which is only available for these type of external events, where you have predefined categories, but you cannot book them actually here. You are sent to another web page and can book them there. So this actually concludes the main part of our walkthrough. Maybe some more topics which we didn't discuss here from a system point of view, some administrative functions. We actually have multi-language support for the whole platform. We have 5 languages completely implemented. This is German, English, Hungarian, Polish, and Greek. And it's very nice always when you change languages and it looks totally different then. I always love this about our platform. I don't understand a word, but it looks nice. The thing is, we need to find a way to quickly get translations, and in order to facilitate this whole translation process, we invented a community translation process. You can say my language is missing or there are translation errors, and then you have a language administration section. And in this administration section, if we go there, we actually have all these languages which we have been working on. You have a fallback language, so if there's a string not available, it will fall back to some other language. The most important part is the translation section. For beginners, we have some hints on how to translate and how to what to pay attention to. There's some things like number of tags need to match, number of placeholders need to match, otherwise there might be translation errors, of course. And what we see here, we have our source language and destination language. You can click on any item and we have an in-place editor and can edit the translation here. Very easy, it can translate huge amounts of text in very short time. Go to Espanol. A lot of green which still needs to be translated. And in order to fine-tune this process a little, not everybody can simply change the text of the web page. We have a confirmation part which only administrators can view and handle. As a courtesy to our translators, we name all of them in our disclaimer. So there we go, quite some people participated. But we also have as a help an FAQ section. If you have questions to some main aspect of the web page, like what does the usage of this web page cost, you have some small explanation, some FAQ here. Then we also have a feedback section, so people can send us instant feedback about the web page without needing to find out our email or anything. Email is not mandatory, so you just can send a message. Very easy to use. So what we also used to have is a hotline. We had a 0180 number, but since this is too time consuming, we switched to an online solution and we now have a support chat. The chat can be reached through the top corner here. We have a live support icon and you just click on it and this will open a connection to our live support. You see here we get a pop-up icon in the administration area and then there's an instant chat possible. It's a great tool, I can only recommend it. It's extremely useful to collect instant feedback. And of course, We have some marketing sections on the web page as well. We have a blog where we constantly write new things which have been public on the web page. And we have this About Us section, some little background on who we are, what the goal of the web page is, and we have some press context and press material, some PDFs about the idea of the team. We have high-res logos which you can actually incorporate and print. You see the old version of our logo. We have high-res pictures from us. We have some press releases which we made, and we have some articles from newspapers, for example. This was the first article we had in the biggest paper, Dresden. They actually came to our apartment and we had to blow like 100 times to get this party picture right. And maybe to wrap this all up, what you can actually start with is the About EventMotor section. So this will list all the functions which you have on eventmotor.com, separated into private users and professional organizers. We have SSL certificates for maximum security, PayPal verified, event and partner. So this concludes our tour actually. I hope you enjoyed this, and we are very sad to discontinue this platform. It has been a lot of fun, an amazing journey, and I want to thank all the people who helped us bring it to life. We had a lot of events planned over this platform, and it has been hugely helpful. So thank you for listening. Contact me if you have questions, of course, and have a nice day. Bye bye.